Hello, I'm Janet Simmons and welcome to video 1.4 of UOIT's Information Literacy course. In this video, we will examine information literacy and higher education. Previously, we were introduced to the ACRL's Information Literacy Framework. We will use these 6 concepts throughout the course, so please ensure you're familiar with them. We also examine problems with information overload and the various types of resources we likely will use in higher education. In this video, we will examine a paper titled Information Literacy as a Catalyst for Educational Change. This includes approaches used in other countries, the 4 pillars of information literacy, and information literacy perspectives of university educators. There are 3 analysis questions to help you focus as you watch this video. The 3 questions guide us to think about how we learnt about information, the IL skills we use, and including IL in the curriculum. Pause the video for a few seconds and try to answer each of these questions before proceeding. As noted in the Blackboard site, you will need to read or skim through the article before watching the video. The ideas taken from this article will form the basis of your tutorial session and the online discussion forum for the week. At the beginning of the article, Bruce makes some big claims about the importance of information literacy in our society. 3 of her statements from paragraphs 2 and 3 of the article are shown on the screen. Do you agree with her assertions? Be prepared to discuss your opinion in this week's tutorial and in the online discussion. Remember, there is no correct or incorrect answers, but you need to think critically about each of these so you can back up or justify your position. We are now going to look at the 3 approaches the author describes in the paper. Pause the video and answer the 2 questions for each approach. First, you'll briefly read about the approach, and then the 2 questions will appear. What do these examples reveal about the range of approaches to teaching information literacy and the distinction that's made between information literacy and information technologies in these countries? Bruce writes about Delors' 4 pillars. The first of the pillars is learning to live together. Delors believes this can be done by bringing the world into the classroom or taking the learners out into the world. Remember, this was written in the very early days of the internet and was much more difficult to bring the world into the classroom. Learning to know addresses students seeking knowledge and exploring resources using a critical lens to evaluate the resources. Learning to do refers to designing experiences or experiential learning, and that helps students with information practices that support their professional, civic, and personal lives. Finally, learning to be refers to using critical and creative thinking, as well as good communication skills, using teamwork, and the use of wisdom to support information literacy education. The 4 pillars provide a good foundation for information literacy, but how did these work with the ACRL framework? Come to the tutorial prepared to answer this question. Let's turn our attention to several critical components all information literacy programs should have. Pause the video for a few moments as you read through the 4 sentences. Do you think anything has been left out? What would you add to this list? The 4 components plus your additions is what you, as an educator, need to focus on when you design your own lessons and activities. Remember that learners of all ages need opportunities to experience information literacy. They need to reflect on their IL experiences and apply their understanding and skills to the experiences in new learning contexts. Experience, reflect, and apply. This is the recipe for IL success, and hopefully you will have successfully accomplished this by the end of this module. Bruce's area of specialty is information literacy. Her other papers also look at issues of IL in higher education. In a 2006 paper, she co-authored research that examined differences between learning and information literacy from the learner's perspective and from the instructor's perspective. We can clearly see that these do not always align. Why do you think this is? How can we, as educators, close this gap in understanding? After reading the articles by Bruce, I wondered if there was an update and if the perspective had changed since 2006. A 2016 study conducted in Sweden's Uppsala University revealed that learners want to know more about information literacy, and educators believe that finding data repositories and citing data are the most important concepts to be taught. Do you think these align? Knowing this information, what could this university do to help their learners and help their educators? I've asked you many questions in this video, and we will attempt to address all of them in the weekly tutorial. Now there's two synthesis questions for this video. Do you recognize any gaps with your IL knowledge? Has identifying these gaps changed your perspective of information literacy? As we progress through the upcoming 11 weeks, you will begin to hone your IL skills and add to your IL knowledge. More importantly, the videos in our weekly discussion and in the tutorial will help shape how you, as an educator, will approach information literacy when you design your own courses. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the tutorial.